bought tickets to games, hotels in the local Indianapolis area, spent their money at restaurants, going to games. And if you are a certain section, we're looking at, I just come out and said it today on X. If you are a Christian, a real true Christian, or you are a conservative.
There are a couple of major topics being covered here. The first centers on the All-Star game and whether Caitlin Clark secured a starting spot. She did. The final voting tally hadn't been reviewed yet at the time of this discussion, though a search was attempted right before recording, with a possible follow-up check before wrapping things up. The focus turns to the announcement confirming Clark's selection to the All-Star roster, along with a look at the fan base behind it.
Are you a conservative? Stephanie White said you are not welcome to watch this team any longer. I got to tell you, this is the worst look the Indiana Fever have had since Caitlin Clark arrived. I would bring up things before that, but who knows and who cares, right? What Stephanie White did yesterday, going rogue, not only is she getting destroyed, I think, in my opinion, it's a fight.
These are supporters who have poured money into Clark merchandise, jerseys, footwear, game tickets, hotel stays around the Indianapolis area, and local dining. They've shown up to games consistently, and for a specific segment of that fan base, anyone identifying as a genuine Christian or conservative was essentially told by Stephanie White that they're no longer welcome to follow this team. This stands out as the roughest stretch the Indiana Fever organization has faced since Clark joined. Earlier controversies aside, what matters now is the fallout from White's comments made the previous day.
I think, in my opinion, it's a fireable offense because you went out and told your consumer you're not welcome. And do they truly not believe that people will tune out? I did a video on the Matrix and Road show yesterday. That boycott, that game had 1 million less views, 1 million less viewers than the very last CBS game.
Going off script like that isn't just drawing heavy criticism, it arguably rises to the level of a fireable mistake. Telling your own consumer base they aren't wanted is a serious misstep, and there's a real question of whether people underestimate how quickly fans will simply stop watching. A separate piece covering the Mott and Rose programs noted that a boycotted broadcast pulled in roughly 1 million fewer viewers than the prior CBS broadcast. Some dismissed the idea that fans would actually walk away, yet compared to the previous matchup, nearly 980,000 viewers chose not to tune in. A boycott
last CBS game before it. The game that people said, oh, well, I don't think fans are really going to tune out. Yeah, compared to the previous game, 980,000 fans decided not to watch. A boycott can be done. A boycott can be done. What Stephanie White said yesterday was unacceptable.
What White said the day before crossed a line. The Fever organization operates as a business, and its head coach effectively dismissed millions of new viewers, fans, and merchandise buyers. The recurring counter-argument suggests trading Clark elsewhere would fix things, but this same pattern would likely repeat with nearly every franchise in the league, because the issue runs through the league itself. The clip then shows the announcement. Multiple Fever players named as all-star starters for the 2026 game, starting with Aaliyah Boston, followed by Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark, met with cheers. That's the only portion replayed.
Today was unacceptable. You are a business, the Indiana Fever, and your coach gave the middle finger to millions of new viewers and fans and merchandise buyers, etc., etc. And here's my issue. A lot of people will say, well, trade her out of Indianapolis. It's going to be this way with every damn team in this league. It's
Boston, Mitchell, and Clark have all officially earned All-Star selections. A short highlight reel, released by the Fever organization, follows, showcasing Clark, Boston, and Mitchell in action, with clips of crowd-pleasing plays, slick ball handling described as otherworldly, and standout scoring moments from both Boston and Clark. After refreshing the page to check for fresh reactions, comments begin rolling in. One person can't wait for the day Clark plays for a different franchise.
Team in this league. It's the league. The league is poisoned. All right, let's watch this.
White could turn a roster with 3 All-Stars into a 7th-place seed. Others call for White's firing outright, questioning how she continues defending Alyssa Thomas. Some argue that promoting Clark publicly while failing to protect her on the court sends the wrong message. Multiple comments demand White be dismissed, with predictions that things will look even messier within another 12 hours, because tension is clearly building.
That's the only one we're going to watch. That's the only one we're going to watch. But yeah, right there, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell have all made the team as All-Stars right here. Let's see this little video that the Fever put.
A quick scroll through Fever social media replies reveals what can only be described as a massacre, a wave of backlash following White's remarks from the previous day. It's become clear that White has let her personal, social, and political views bleed directly into her coaching role. That alone justifies a full vote of no confidence. It remains to be seen how the fan base responds moving forward, especially given that a large chunk of newer supporters were essentially told they weren't welcome.
Let's see this little video that the Fever put up.
Caitlin Clark,
Boston.
Kelsey Mitchell.
This is how you bring the roof down.
Oh, sidestep Clark. Set. Clark with the ball on a string.
Like a globetrotter from another stratosphere. Big bucket Boston. And
Okay, and that's where I'm going to stop it. So right there, let me refresh this because there had not been a lot.
Hiring a coach who appears to resent the very player drawing 3/4 of the arena's attendance seems like a questionable decision. Resorting to giveaways and promotional deals with local retailers just to move tickets signals trouble. One comment jokes about a hardware store sponsorship being used to boost attendance, while another sarcastically thanks the retailer for stepping in. Someone else mocks the organization for giving away merchandise because attendance has dropped so significantly amid the boycott.
You gauge how quickly we're able to get to that point, and then how much retention there is. And so, I think it's a group that would I like to be further along. Of course, I think every coach would. It is where we are, and I think now for us having an opportunity for a week to be able to get back to addressing some of those things, and then seeing how much further we can push is important.
Do you have any updates on Caitlin and her status, or do you expect her to practice today?
No, she's going to be doing an individual workout today.
I think the break comes at a good time. Just on that note,
Christine Brennan's appearance on Dan Dietrich's show gets referenced again. A strong interview overall, where she suggested this moment captures the current state of the league perfectly, calling it remarkably tone-deaf. The frustration from online communities largely stems from a lack of accountability regarding the ongoing situation. Calls to remove the coach continue, framed as a direct response to what's being called her dismissive attitude toward fans. Reactions pile up, harsh words directed at the organization, accusations that White defends everyone except Clark, criticism labeling the coaching staff an embarrassment.
Workout today.
I think the break comes at a good time. Just on that note, I feel like a week off at any point in the season is good.
Yeah.
Just specifically now.
Yeah, of course, we'd love to be playing in the Commissioner's Cup. There's no question about that. But I think the opportunity that we have now to really to get back to some of the basics and to work on some things that we need to work on, it's good timing.
When you looked at this stretch here, what was the most important part? I want us to accomplish what? What was most important for you?
I want us to practice. We don't have much opportunity to practice. So again, address slippage.
One comment claims Fever supporters are fed up with hostility directed at Clark from certain players, suggesting White won't address it because doing so conflicts with her personal political leanings. She reportedly can't separate her own beliefs and lifestyle from her professional responsibilities. Speculation follows that had ownership handled this directly, White likely would have been dismissed within half an hour of that rant, sent off to pursue other opportunities, perhaps alongside her ESPN colleague and partner. More comments pile on, calling for the coaching staff to get their priorities straight, with harsher language accusing her of bias.
Dress slippage, and be able to add some things.
With the shoe deal.
Yeah.
Just how excited are you for her, and what'd you think of the first version that she brought out?
I'm real excited for her. She deserves it. I'm excited that she gets this opportunity, and certainly to work with Ty and to be able to do those things. And the first one first time she came out in the shoes. You recognize it because it wasn't what she typically wears, and just asking her about it, and she said she was trying them out. And
uncertainty remains about specific characterizations, but the point raised is that within the WNBA's makeup, straight white women aren't typically the group being uplifted. A separate commentator, Ben Daniel, made the case that Clark herself represents the marginalized figure within this particular league dynamic, being both straight and white. There's uncertainty about how things would unfold if Clark ever publicly defended Alyssa Thomas, something some observers anticipate might happen. If it did, it could be interpreted as a survival tactic within the league's current climate.
Just asking her about it, and she said she was trying them out, and I'm happy for Kelsey that she's finally getting her flowers.
How do you spend with this stretch without games? How do you maximize your time for yourself away from basketball? How do you kind of mentally reset?
I had a couple days. I went and played in charity golf outing yesterday, and it was for a children's hospital in Chicago. And I think anytime you get an opportunity to reset your perspective, it's important. Talking with families, talking with children who have been through so much. We get to play a game and coach a game, and
frustration builds toward the idea that certain vocal supporters of progressive causes within women's sports won't be satisfied until pushing their views onto Clark herself, accusing that group of harboring anger, jealousy, and general disrespect. A pointed question arises. Does White recognize the contradiction in outlining everything the league and her team supposedly stand for, while simultaneously excluding anyone who holds differing viewpoints? Anyone identifying as politically center-right, or as a Christian, was effectively told not to support the team. The coach directly informed a portion of the audience that they aren't considered genuine fans, despite having spent significant money attending games over the years and investing countless hours watching this team play.
And so I think that gives me an opportunity to really be humbled in a way that helps you maintain perspective and get out of the weeds, so to speak. And then the opportunity again to practice and then to find some time to just decompress a little bit.
How'd you shoot it?
What's that?
How'd you shoot it yesterday?
It was a scramble, so it's always great, right?
Based on the evidence that has been released, a lot of these senators and a lot of people in high places is feeling the type of way about this Caitlin Clark situation.
More comments follow, warning Fever supporters to step back, accusing the franchise and its leadership of damaging the sport's reputation. Numerous posts get tagged referencing White's comments directly, spreading further across various accounts, including some from South Carolina-affiliated pages joining in on the criticism. Uncertainty remains about whether the Fever organization can recover from whatever fallout stems from White's decision the previous day. Rarely has a coach been seen turning against the very fan base credited with helping secure the new collective bargaining agreement and the recent media rights deal.
Type of way about this Caitlin Clark situation. Now, we know Alyssa Thomas was reportedly suspended for one game, and it has now been announced that she will have to pay $1,000 fine for that situation that occurred with Caitlin Clark. A lot of folks feel like she should have been suspended for 3 or 4 games, and I have to be honest with you, bro. I gotta completely agree. What Alyssa Thomas displayed on the basketball court was lack of sportsmanship and lack of being a team player. She looked out for herself, and now she's in the hot water, wanted to cry victim.
Supporters who dedicated time and money got dismissed outright, something without much precedent in professional sports history. For fans who simply want to enjoy the games without wading into broader social debates, the message delivered was essentially to stay away. That reaction is described as baffling, paired with visible frustration over the entire situation, given how much time has gone into following this team. A final comparison suggests the previous coach, Christy Sides, would never have handled things this way, prompting an acknowledgement that she deserves a serious apology in hindsight.
And now she's in the hot water, wanted to cry victim. There is many posts from Phoenix Mercury players And Phoenix Mercury staff pretty much pointing the finger at Caitlin Clark being the bad guy, pretty much saying the Caitlin Clark fans is attacking Alyssa Thomas online. She's the victim throughout all of this. But what we seen displayed was a clear assault and something that should be criminal. Now, with all that being said, an Iowa senator has made up their mind and spoken their piece online. It's being reported that U.S. Senator
Stephanie White addressed reporters about the unusually extended break between games and what the coaching staff hoped to accomplish with the additional practice time. She noted the
sounds off on unfair Caitlin Clark treatment. U.S. Senator Chuck Grassley of Iowa is not all praise with the recent controversy involving Indiana Fever star Caitlin Clark. Now, just like I told you guys yesterday on video, I believe President Trump, the government, people was tired of saying this. That Alyssa Thomas situation, to me, was the hump that broke the camel's back. Now, we know a couple years ago, well, I would say about a year ago.
When asked whether the roster was tracking with expectations on the defensive learning curve, White said it was hard to set a firm benchmark given how many new faces had been added, some of them entirely new to the league. She said the process involves gauging early how quickly a group absorbs new concepts and how much of it sticks. She acknowledged she would like the team further along, as any coach would, but described the current point as simply where the group stands. The week off presented a chance to revisit fundamentals and measure how much further the roster could be pushed.